10 years ago, the NBA was drastically different. I love doing these videos and taking a break from the current NBA because it just shows you how much things changed in what feels like a little bit of time. 10 years ago, Stephen Curry was damn near looked at like a project, and 10 years later, it's like he's almost challenging Magic Johnson for that best point guard of all time spot. 10 years ago, Dwight Howard was the definitive best center in the NBA, not even being able to hit a shot 2 feet away from the basket. And nowadays, the centers look like this. In this video, we're going to rewind back the time and take a look at how significantly different the NBA actually looked back then. Now, one thing for sure they definitely didn't have 10 years ago was today's video sponsor, Magic Spoon. As we all know, the summertime is quickly approaching, which means everybody's getting fake fit and cutting out bad foods and hitting the gym. If you're one of those people that can't cut out those sugar-like foods, but you still want to be healthy, Magic Spoon is probably going to be your best friend. This cereal gives you the same satisfaction as all your favorite childhood cereals, yet it doesn't have all the BS in it, and my BS stands for bad stuff. This cereal has absolutely no grams of sugar, no grams of added sugar, that's the hidden stuff that really makes you fat, 14 grams of protein, only 4 net grams of carbs, and only 140 calories. You whip that up with some almond milk, bro, you good to go. Also, if you're on any of those summer diets, it is gluten-free, keto-friendly, grain-free, soy-free, low-carb, and it's GMO-free, so you good there too. Just try some of my personal favorite flavors, aka the frosted, the peanut butter, and the cocoa, and just let me know what you think, bro. Like, I promise you it doesn't disappoint. Click the link in my description, use my promo code Swishout to get $5 off, and just try it. They even give you a full refund if you don't like it with no questions asked, so you really don't have nothing to lose. Big shout out to my homies over at Magic Spoon for sponsoring this video and giving my guys healthier food options. Now let's go back in time.
I know you've never been one to back away from a challenge. What kind of expectations do you set for yourself individually going into year 3?
It's high. The way I look at it within myself, why not? Why can't I be the MVP of the league? Why can't I be the best player in the league? I don't see why. Why?
10 years ago, Derrick Rose won the MVP as the youngest player to ever do it at just 21 years old. Yeah, we look at his career and we feel sorry for him for what could have been, but 10 years later, his career is actually still relevant. Even as a former MVP, even as a former All-Star, Derrick Rose was humble enough to come off the bench, and now he's a significant piece to a Knicks team that just made the playoffs for the first time in 8 seasons. Also, that same year Derrick Rose won that MVP at just 21 years old, he got a new coach from Boston, this random coach named Tom Thibodeau, who completely transformed that whole organization. 10 years later, these two are reunited, and Tom Thibodeau just did the exact same thing in New York that he did 10 years ago in Chicago. Exactly 10 years ago, Russell Westbrook had his real first breakout season. He averaged 20 points per game, he made the All-Star team for the first time, OKC went pretty deep in the playoffs, and Russ's potential looked pretty scary. The only thing that most people worried about with Russell Westbrook is how his ferocious, aggressive-ass style, how the hell was that gonna last? Especially if you look at his draft mate Derrick Rose and what happened to him, and they both had athletic-ass styles. I mean, it was almost natural to wonder, is Russ next? Oddly enough, Russell actually dealt with those injuries that you would expect from a player with his aggressive ass style. Patrick Beverley tore up his knee, he had multiple knee surgeries, knee procedures, all the stuff you would expect, but it hasn't really seemed to affect him. Love him, hate him, say his style can never win championships, whatever. One thing you have to do, bruh, you just have to appreciate him. This man just averaged his 4th triple-double in the last 5 seasons. This man just averaged the most assists since John Stockton in like 94, 95. And mind you, he ain't playing with no damn Karl Malone. This man just averaged 11 rebounds per game at 6'3" in his 13th season, and he's 32 years old. And his play style is the exact same. Like, it's just never slowing down. About 3 years ago, LeBron credited Dwayne Casey for basically the evolution of LeBron James's game. Now, if you don't understand the correlation, Dwayne Casey was basically the assistant coach for the Dallas Mavericks when they stunned, and I mean stunned, the Miami Heat back in 2011. Dwayne Casey was reportedly the mastermind that put together the game plan that stopped LeBron from attacking the rim and doing all the crazy stuff he used to do and forced him to be more perimeter based. If this really is the case, I think LeBron was thanking Dwayne Casey for pretty much extending his career. Even though LeBron has had injuries recently, in his 18th season, he's averaging damn near his career averages. That's not normal. Also, you have to look at it like this, and this is how impressive the sustainability of LeBron, just how impressive it's really been. Kobe Bryant and LeBron, they both came straight out of high school, right? The late great Kobe. Kobe retired at 37 years old, and to his standards, when he retired, he was pretty much done. LeBron is going to be 37 this December, and he's already played 2,000 more minutes than Kobe. That just shows you how not normal his level of play at this age really is. Stephen Curry, coming out of the small school of Davidson, in some people's eyes, he was a project. The only reason I feel like he dropped that low in the draft, even after dominating the tournament and all that, is because of the old saying, people fear what they don't understand. Hence why in 2018, Trae Young got traded up for and picked over Luka Doncic, another player people didn't understand. Meanwhile, in 2009, Stephen Curry got passed up on 8 times. The Stephen Curry experience was such an experiment that even 2 years after drafting him, and he didn't play bad, it wasn't like he looked like a bust or anything like that, the Golden State Warriors almost made the biggest mistake of the decade. The Warriors almost traded Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson, the most lethal, dangerous, crazy backcourt of all time, for Chris Paul. And I'm not trying to down Chris Paul, but we know how different history would look if they made that dumbass trade. 10 years later, Stephen Curry just became the oldest player since Michael Jordan to lead the league in scoring. He consistently breaks his own damn records. He's about to break Ray Allen's 3-point record in like a fraction of the games. And he has the type of play style where I literally think, barring a crazy injuries to his hand or his arm, bro, he could be doing this in his 40s. Lastly, I want to talk about Chris Paul really quickly. The player that's been doubted the most out of anybody on this list with the least amount of reasoning. Chris Paul this season, he's finally getting his flowers, but I don't think he's appreciated enough. Like, bro, he's in his 16th season as a 6-foot point guard on his 5th team, and he's having an MVP type of year. In the last 10, 11, 12 years, we've had a lot of debates with point guards and who's better than who and who's the best. But it's only one player to me that always kept his name in the conversation over these last 10 years, and that's Chris Paul. Chris Paul versus Steve Nash in 2008. Chris Paul versus his draft mate Darren Williams in 2010 and all that stuff. Look at Darren Williams now. Chris Paul versus Derrick Rose. Chris Paul versus Russell Westbrook. Now Chris Paul versus Stephen Curry, Damian Lillard, Kyrie. It's only one player that still remained in the conversation, and 16 years later, it's still Chris Paul. This video is pretty much like an appreciation video for these players who aren't going to last forever. Like Stephen Curry, 2 games into the season, he was getting trashed, and now he just gave us one of the best seasons of all time. Russell Westbrook, the same thing. Like, let's appreciate these players and how long they're sustaining this level of play while they're here. If you guys like this video, I planned on doing this video for a while, pretty much a freestyle video of all these players still playing at this high level this late into their careers. Like, I just appreciate this, bro. It's not gonna last forever. Make sure you guys follow my social media sites, turn on post notifications. A lot of videos coming during this playoff time, y'all already know. Do all that great stuff, guys, and until next time, as always, stay tuned.